Okay, Gary, it was really good to see you the other day. I'm glad we got to hook up. And this is the video I was talking about. So what I did was I shot this video of Stuart Appleby at the BMW back in the fall. Um, I was fortunate enough to get to work for NBC Sports and as a spotter for Roger Maltby. So I had inside the ropes credentials and got to hang out with these guys and shoot videos. Very cool. So anyway, what I'm going to do is we're going to do a down the line view with you and Stuart Appleby and a front view with the young German guy Martin Keimer. So both of these guys have really compact, um, tight swings. Both of them are pretty close to your height and build. Um, you're a little taller than Stuart Appleby. I'd like to see you just a little bit more upright. The legs look good. Be careful you don't get too far out on your toes. Okay. What I do like is your right arm is in good position to fold right at your side because there's just a little bend in it. You want them to hang nice and relaxed. You watch Stewart, his right arm just rolls right to his side, folds right to his side, and then that's position two, right where his hands and the club head are right in line there on the plane. So we'll do the same thing with you over here. Okay. And you've always had a lot of what we call over rotation, internal rotation of the left arm. So we kind of want to reverse that. I'd like you to feel like the club head is pointing to the ball. If you look over here at Stewart, his club face is pretty close to his spine angle. Okay, pretty close to it. And that's what your club face should be at P2, but it ought to be in a circle. It should be in a circle right here where your hands are. Three things that the hands and arms do in the takeaway. There's a vertical wrist cock of the left wrist. There's an internal rotation or a clockwise rotation of the left arm. And there's a shoulder turn. And all three of those things happen at the same time and at the same rate. When your club head gets that far under plane and inside, you're going to be laid off at P3, and that's when the left arm is parallel to the ground. And you can see your shaft right there, big time laid off. And that in itself is not terrible, but it just makes it very difficult for you to get the club on plane. And then if we look over at Stewart, he's probably got the best P3 in the business right there. Shaft perfectly parallel, and swinging the club on plane is that's not something that only the pros can do. Anybody can do it if they just want to spend the time to, in the repetition to get it right. Okay, so we'd like to see you. I mean, other than your club being laid off, you're in really good positions. I really like it. You've kept your spine angle. I'm going to roll you back there to address real quick. I'm just going to draw a line from your ear, matching your spine angle. And if you can keep that pretty much in your ear throughout the whole swing, you got a really good chance of playing good golf, and you do. I love it. And that's you talk about common denominators in the golf swing for the tour guys. That's one of them. I'd say the ability to hit the ground in the same spot, um, the ability to swing around their spine angle, and a flat left wrist. Okay, so just really good. So I'm going to stop Stewart at the top. I'm going to take you to the top, and you really start that arm lifting. So you've turned your shoulders. Most of the tour guys are right around 90, some of them more. Some of the senior guys maybe a little less, but you're at 90 right there. And watch this. Your shoulders don't turn anymore. You just keep raising your arms. And then you throw it completely off plane. Okay? So you've got to do a whole lot of dropping to get that club down on plane. I'd like to see your left arm and your shoulder plane. These two yellow lines should match up. Okay? Look at Stuart Appleby's left arm and look at his shoulders. And I'll guarantee you at the top, you can't see it, but I'll guarantee you his club face it matches those. All right, so your club face is a little open. All right, so just real quick, let me show you something here. All right. Your club face is 31 degrees. Excuse me, 26.6. Your left arm's 23.6. Shoulder plane 58.6. All right. Stuart Appleby. Shoulders 52.8. Left arm 52.8. Club face 56.3. When we talk about swinging on a circle, that's the circle we're talking about. It's not staying on that. It's all parallel or concentric circles. So if the hands are on one, then the club head should be on another or pretty close to it. At the very least, it's running parallel, if that makes any sense. Okay? So, working our way down. All right, and I'm going to change colors to blue. I hope I'm not confusing you here. I don't think I am. You're a pretty good student of the game. The blue, that blue wedge right there, that's the slot. And you're going to see Stuart drop his arms right down in that slot, the hands, the club head, and everything. And when he gets back to what we call position 6, or the delivery position, all right, it's real close to where position 2 was in the takeaway. Go back one more frame here. Look at his club head. Okay, it's real close to where it was in 2. Alright, so he's swinging inside out, obviously. Just a slight draw. Alright, so there's your slot. Notice that your slot's a lot wider. You do a pretty good job of saving it, but that's just a whole lot of work. Okay. Do a pretty good job. At impact, look how far your shaft is. Let's just do this real quick. Alright. Your shaft at impact, 26.0. Okay. At address, it looks like it was 34.8, which is not a huge difference, but look how far it was from where it started. That's what's key. I'm going to use an arrow here. The arrows are the distance from where the shaft started to where it was at address, and that's called planing the shaft. Hogan was the best ever, and a lot of the tour guys are going to be a little bit steeper than where they started, but not that much. Okay, and watch Stuart over here. Now, here's the big thing. Although there's some distance between where his shaft started and where it is at impact, it's parallel. It's the same distance at the hands and down at the hosel. It doesn't get smaller. Okay. Another big thing is notice how your right foot is up off the ground. Your right heel. And look at Stuart's. His right heel is inside of his right foot is rolling toward the target. So his right knee goes to his left knee. Your right knee really pops out towards right field. Okay? That's what you want the left knee to do. The left knee goes to right field, then it goes to center field, then it goes to left field. It rotates, and then the hips kind of follow that. So, but I really like how you're rotating around your spine. That is a good thing. But one other thing I want to point out. Look at your left leg. See how we can't see it? See how it's kind of, you're in what we call flexion. Those legs should be extended. Now you can't tell it from this angle, but Stuart's right leg is almost straight if you were looking at it from the front. So he's got his legs under his hips under his torso, and he's pushing those hips forward. And you'll really see that with the video of Martin Keimer. Okay, so I'm going to clean this up real quick, and then I'm just going to play the swings through a couple of times. Here's a really cool thing right here. I'm going to take Stuart Appleby. At address, and then at impact. And I've got a little setting here, and what I can do is I can just click back. So I can go from, I'll draw a line from his ear down to his hips, and watch how he just rotates. So there's address, impact, address, impact, address, impact. There's no movement whatsoever. He never loses his posture. Alright, so let's do the same thing with you. And I'm just anticipating that you do a pretty good job of this yourself. Alright. Now your hips do come forward a little bit and get where your hands should be, and that's what we call early extension. So address, impact. Some people call that humping the shaft or humping the goat. See how your hips get where, see how your hands work forward? Well, that's because your hips are thrusting forward, and they have to. They're trying to have some room. You're trying to give yourself some room to swing. Okay. So part of that's a core strength issue. The other part of it is just pretty much a homemade swing. A lot of guys that have taught themselves have that move. I got it a little bit myself. I've had 2 back surgeries too, so it's really it hadn't I haven't helped myself in that regard either. So the moral of the story here is we really want to work on this pivot, get you moving more lateral. Okay, doing a great job of working around your spine, swinging on the circle. I'd like to lower that left arm angle. Okay, I'd like to get this down to where the shoulders are. So your left arm. Whoops. Get your left arm. So there's your left arm. There are your shoulders. I'd like to line those up. Okay. So I'm going to pack this up and send it to you, and then we're going to do one from the front.